You can buy the Samsung Galaxy S24 for 59,000 right now in India. And for that price, is it worth it? Let's find out. Now with the Samsung S24, the main thing that bothered all of us was the inclusion of Exynos. Because in the past, with Exynos, we never had any good experience. The S23 was appreciated for including Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, but with the S24, it was not appreciated. But the processor aside, there are many good things on the Samsung Galaxy S24. But before talking about all the pros and cons of the Samsung S24, especially with the Exynos processor, let's just take a look at all the competition. Now we have smartphones like the iQOO 12, the OnePlus 12, and then you have the previous version, the Samsung Galaxy S23, which is like 10k cheaper than the S24, and that is still a pretty good deal. And you have other smartphones like the Vivo V40 Pro. Now with all these huge competitors around, the S24 definitely has certain things that are good, like its advantages, and certain things that are not good, like not favorable for that. So let's take a look at some of the not so great things about the S24. And let's start with the processor itself, because the Exynos 2400 is definitely a huge upgrade over all its previous processors, but it still is not as powerful as the other offerings like the 8 Gen 3 and other processors. Now, when you take a look at synthetic benchmarks, of course, the 8 Gen 3 performs very well. It has a bigger score than the Exynos 2400, but in real world use, day-to-day performance, you will actually not find a difference between both of these smartphones, because it is kind of equal in both, because the Exynos 2400 can definitely handle simple tasks with ease, no overheating or anything. You will notice a huge difference only when it comes to intensive tasks like gaming and multitasking, and that is where the S24 tends to fall a little back. Now if you give plenty of cooling and a huge space to work with, the Exynos 2400 doesn't heat up, and in the S24 Plus, the Exynos 2400 definitely doesn't heat up, and that is good. But with the regular S24, since it is a smaller space, the phone definitely tends to heat up and throttle. Now even the performance on the regular S24 has been reduced by Samsung themselves in order for it to not over throttle or overheat. So that is something of concern here. Now when you take a look at all the other competitions like the iQOO 12 or the OnePlus 12, all these have really good long-term sustained performance, especially when it comes to gaming. So you have smartphones like these which will actually be an advantage, especially if you play a lot of games. Now, not that you can't play games on the S24, but you're not going to have the same experience because you will be facing heating issues and things like that. But this is only with extreme tasks. If you are someone who wants a premium smartphone but is going to end up doing very light simple stuff, then this should not be a problem at all. So the heating, throttling is only with respect to intensive multitasking and other tasks like gaming. And another disadvantage the regular S24 has is definitely the battery size. Of course, it is a physically small phone, so a physically smaller battery, and definitely lesser battery life. Now, when you compare it with all the other smartphones like the iQOO 12, OnePlus 12 again, you are definitely not going to get that good of a battery life. So in my opinion, these two are the major things that you have to think about before purchasing the S24. So just ask yourself one thing. Are you going to use your smartphone for things like gaming, heavy multitasking, or are you going to use it for just regular casual everyday stuff like browsing the web, browsing social media, things like that? If that's the case, then this smartphone would be definitely a good option for you. But if you're someone who's into heavy gaming and things like that, like you play PUBG, you play Genshin Impact, things like that, then this is not suitable for that. I would tell you to choose other smartphones like the iQOO 12 and OnePlus 12. And definitely don't forget about the battery life, because you are not going to get amazing battery life out of this, so keep that in mind. But despite all of this, the S24 definitely has some amazing feature sets. For example, the display here is one amongst the best, because viewing angles, the picture quality, everything, Samsung's AMOLED display is a pleasure to watch at. And then you have things like the camera. Samsung's cameras have always been good, and the cameras here are also good. And you should definitely not forget the compact size. Now this here is a very handy phone in a world of 6.7 and 6.5 inch smartphones. This here is a very compact phone, and if you are someone who loves compact smartphones, then this will definitely be something that you have to put in your wish list. Now then you have other stuff like the Type-C port is USB 3.2, which is the latest. You get Wi-Fi 6E, then you have Bluetooth 5.3. So there are a lot of other good things about the smartphone too. So with that said, let me just tell you one thing. I'm not saying this smartphone is bad, but this here is meant for a certain set of people who want premium smartphones but are not going to end up, playing heavy games or doing some heavy multitasking stuff on their smartphones. So for people like that, the S24 would be an obvious choice. And if you definitely want to save some money, I would say go with the S23, because that still is an amazing choice and you can save around 10,000, 11,000 rupees. So make sure, if you want a compact phone but for a much lesser price, then consider the S23. But if pure raw power, pure performance is something that you want, then go with smartphones like the iQOO 12 or the OnePlus 12 or the Vivo V40 Pro. So to answer the question, should you buy the S24 for 58,000 rupees? And the answer to that is, it's not meant for everyone. So thank you for watching, and this here is Suman signing off once again. Catch you later.